Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been following the Browns this season, you know it's been a roller coaster. And honestly, things haven't gone the way Cleveland fans had hoped. The Browns sit at 1-5 after what was, frankly, a tough, lopsided loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And let me tell you, this isn't just any loss. It's the 22nd straight time Cleveland has fallen in Pittsburgh during the regular season. That's a staggering statistic, one that highlights just how difficult it's been for Cleveland to get a win in that stadium, especially against these Steelers, who have historically been a thorn in the side of the Browns. This game was particularly frustrating because, despite some bright spots, the offense simply couldn't get it going. Dillon Gabriel, who's been trying to bring some life to Cleveland's quarterback situation, struggled to find consistency. Averaging just 4.3 yards per attempt is not what you want to see from your starting QB, especially in a game where every drive counts. The Browns failed to even reach 250 yards of total offense. That's almost unthinkable in today's NFL, where offensive production is expected to be much higher. It's a clear sign that Cleveland's offensive line, play calling, and execution just weren't up to par. They seem to be stuck in neutral, unable to sustain drives or put points on the board when it mattered most. And then, of course, there's Myles Garrett, the 2020 Defensive Player of the Year and one of the most dominant pass rushers in the league today. Garrett, who usually commands double teams and makes game-changing plays, was held in check for most of the game. He didn't register a sack, which is a rarity for him, and ended up with only 2 tackles. That's not what Browns fans have come to expect from Garrett, especially considering his reputation as a game wrecker. But what really caught everyone's attention after the game was Garrett's comments, which, honestly, didn't sit well with many fans and analysts alike. When asked about watching the Steelers' pass rushers get after the quarterback with a 2-score lead, Garrett reportedly said, "Must be nice." That quote, coming from someone who is paid to be a leader on this team and is known for his relentless work ethic, struck a nerve. It's not just the words, but the context, coming after a tough loss and a disappointing team effort, that made it stand out. For Browns fans, Garrett's words raised eyebrows because it seemed like he was throwing his teammates under the bus, criticizing the offensive side of the ball for their struggles. And that's a delicate situation because, as much as fans love to see Garrett be fiery and outspoken, it's also important to remember the team's unity and the bigger picture. Garrett, who signed a massive contract extension worth about $40 million per year, knows his value and his importance to this franchise. But this kind of comment can be seen as tone-deaf, especially considering the context of the Browns' struggles this season. It's worth noting that Garrett's comments came just a week after he publicly requested a trade before the Super Bowl. Yes, you heard that right. Despite being a cornerstone of the Browns' defense and a fan favorite, Garrett was reportedly considering moving on from Cleveland, which caused quite a stir in the NFL community. He later accepted a lucrative contract extension, reaffirming his commitment to the team, but the timing and the words he used in that moment left some fans feeling conflicted. It's a reminder that even the most star-studded players can sometimes let their emotions get the better of them, especially when frustrations boil over. Now, looking beyond just Garrett's comments, it's important to contextualize the current state of the Browns. The team is going through a rough patch, no doubt. The offensive struggles are real, and there's a lot of pressure on the coaching staff and players to turn things around. Cleveland's defense, led by Garrett, has its moments, but it's not immune to criticism either. The defense, which has often carried the team in previous seasons, needs to step up and make more impactful plays if the Browns want to climb out of this hole. The division itself is getting more competitive, with other AFC North teams showing flashes of their potential. The Baltimore Ravens, for instance, have been impressive in recent weeks, adding a quarterback to their roster ahead of Week 6 as they gear up for their showdown against the Rams. Meanwhile, the Cincinnati Bengals, despite some inconsistencies, remain a formidable opponent, and the Steelers, of course, continue to be a thorn in Cleveland's side with their physical style of play and gritty defense. The AFC North has always been one of the most physical and competitive divisions in the NFL, and this season is no different. It's a division where every game counts, and each team is fighting tooth and nail for playoff positioning. For the Browns, that means they need to find a way to turn this season around quickly. The talent is there, especially on defense with Garrett leading the charge, but the offense has to find its rhythm. Whether it's through better execution, improved play calling, or a spark of individual brilliance, Cleveland needs to get back on track. And speaking of the offense, Dillon Gabriel's struggles are a concern. The young quarterback has shown flashes of promise, but consistency has eluded him so far. Averaging just over 4 yards per attempt indicates that defenses are teeing off on him, and the offensive line isn't giving him enough protection or time to make plays. That's an issue that has to be addressed because, in the NFL, giving your quarterback time and space is crucial for success. The Browns' coaching staff is under pressure to make adjustments. They've got talented pieces on both sides of the ball, but they need to be more creative and disciplined. It's also about instilling confidence in the team, especially after back-to-back tough losses. The fan base is hungry for wins, and with a roster that includes a star like Garrett, expectations are high. But talent alone isn't enough. Execution, leadership, and unity will be the keys moving forward. Now, let's talk about the broader picture. Cleveland's history is filled with ups and downs, but the current era has been marked by high expectations. The Browns have been building around their defense, with Garrett as the centerpiece, and have invested heavily in their offense to become more explosive. But football is a game of adjustments, resilience, and mental toughness. The Browns have faced adversity before, and this season is no different. The question is, can they rally together and turn things around? Looking ahead, there are key games coming up that could define the season. The Browns need to capitalize on every opportunity, improve their execution, and perhaps most importantly, rebuild their confidence. The AFC North remains a tough division, but it's also one of the most exciting, with unpredictable outcomes every week. Cleveland's players and coaching staff are aware of this, and it's a challenge they must embrace if they want to make a deep playoff run. In terms of player development, it's vital to keep an eye on how Dillon Gabriel responds after a rough outing. Young quarterbacks often face these kinds of challenges early in their careers, and it's about how they learn from them and adapt. The offensive line also has to step up, providing better protection and opening lanes for the running game and short passing game. The defense, led by Garrett, must continue to pressure the opposing quarterback and force turnovers. These are the areas where Cleveland can still find hope and potential for growth. The fans, of course, remain passionate and hopeful. Cleveland is a city with a rich football history, and despite the recent struggles, the loyalty of the Browns faithful is unwavering. They believe in this team, in the coaching staff, and in players like Garrett who have shown they're willing to fight and lead. The season isn't over yet, and every game is an opportunity to turn things around. The players know it, the coaching staff knows it, and most importantly, the fans know it. As we look ahead, it's also worth mentioning that the Browns have young talent that could blossom with better execution and confidence. The team has a solid foundation on both sides of the ball, but consistency is key. They need to tighten their schemes, minimize mistakes, and play with a renewed sense of purpose. The NFL is a league where momentum can shift quickly, and one good win can change the entire narrative. So, in summary, Cleveland is facing a tough season, no doubt about it. The loss to Pittsburgh was a tough pill to swallow, especially with Garrett's comments adding fuel to the fire. But it's also a reminder of how fragile success can be in this league, and how much work remains for the Browns to truly contend at the highest level. The division is fierce, the competition is relentless, but the potential is still there. It's a matter of whether Cleveland's players, coaches, and fans can rally together, learn from setbacks, and push forward. Because the NFL never sleeps, and neither do the Browns when they're fighting for respect and a shot at another Super Bowl appearance. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news. We're in this together, and if there's one thing that's certain, it's that the passion for this team runs deep. Keep the faith, and let's keep pushing forward.